Hello and welcome to Night Talkers, your weekly Game of Thrones after show here on entertainment.ie, brought to you by Kyo's Crinkle Cut Crisps. You're going to be able to win a box of Kyo's Crinkle Cut Crisps later on in the show. Right now we're talking about the Game of Thrones Season 7 finale, The Dragon and the Wolf.
I know.
We'll start at the start because there's a lot to get through.
There's so much to get through. Can we have an extra special 2 hour long?
No. Watching the show was long enough.
I know, it really was. It was great though. It was nice to have such a long, juicy episode.
Yeah. We started with like just the longest minute of looking I think I've ever seen on TV, with everyone just like scowling.
Yeah.
With everyone arriving at was the first scene?
The opening scene was
Bronn and Jaime, or it was the Unsullied army just gathering outside of King's Landing, and Bronn and Jaime on the walls kind of getting ready.
Yeah.
Bronn being called a lord.
He likes that,
Yeah.
Nice bit of the Bronn and Jaime dynamic is good. So I actually, again, this episode is what I wanted it to be, in that it was a lot of sort of character interactions and a lot of chatting and talking. So they did spend a few minutes, maybe too long with them, just sort of surveying the armies and stuff. But I was like, no, it's fine. Let them have their chats. You know?
Let the lads have their chats.
in a season that's been like so fast, like a roller coaster pace, it was nice to let it breathe a bit.
Exactly. It was like, okay, great. This is just sort of preparing us for the fact that everyone's going to arrive soon into the Dragon Pit.
Yeah.
And this is just what awaits them if shit goes down, basically.
Yeah. And that was kind of like what we were all afraid of, or what we all thought would happen, was that everyone was plotting against everyone. For something bad to happen. But it actually turned out that things were kind of okay. There was definitely some plotting, but there was no murderous bloodletting.
Yeah. Really thought like something was going to go down in King's Landing. Part of me is glad it didn't, because it's always nice to not get what you expect with Game of Thrones. But yeah, I really kind of thought something would go down in the pit. There'd be some sort of fight, or I don't know.
We all thought it'd be Clegane Ball. That's what we were all waiting for.
It was building. They had their moment, the Clegane brothers of So that is definitely, there's some unfinished business with them down the line. But yeah, it was, I guess, the opening minutes were sort of given to those little mini character reunions.
Little bits of like. Was it Tyrion meeting Bronn again? Tyrion meeting Pod.
Exactly.
Three of them together at one point was great.
Yeah.
And even Brienne and the Hound.
Brienne and the Hound.
Yeah.
What, was there a little bit of a spark there? Dare I see it?
I think it was just grudging respect for each other.
I don't know.
I think it was more of a thing. It was like, I thought you were dead.
It's
like, why are you still hanging around?
But I thought as well it was nice because she mentioned that Arya was back in Winterfell, and he was happy. It was almost like, I was just trying to protect Arya.
It was kind of like two divorced parents
talking
about their kid who's constantly trouble.
It's a fair point, but I was I don't know why it's like with Game of Thrones, I find myself looking for the love interest, and that's not what the show is about. But it was just a little brief moment where I guess Brienne kind of had a comeback for him, which I think the Hound just normally has the last word and says whatever. So they almost kind of had a mutual little smile, which you just never really see from either character. So I was just thinking it could be a funny subplot of like the Tormund, Brienne, and the Hound love triangle. Maybe that could be the spin-off that we didn't know we wanted,
Exactly. We had other showdowns. The Cersei Lannister fucking reunion. And all reunions. Like no one likes each other in that family anymore.
No, they really don't.
And like, I can't really figure out whose fault it is. Is it like Cersei just doesn't trust anyone?
Yeah.
Tyrion just wants to be loved.
Yes.
Jaime just wants everything to go okay.
Yeah. Please just let everything be okay.
Can we just get along?
So much peace between everyone that's left. And Cersei's like, well, everyone would be here if it wasn't for Tyrion.
But she's really putting a lot on Tyrion's head there, I mean, I guess her whole point was that, by killing Tywin Lannister, they left them more open. But it's like, oh, I'm sorry, you're the one who burned them down in the Sept. Like, Tommen is dead. His blood is on your hands, that's, she killed the woman he loved, kind of thing. Like, so, I mean, as much as maybe the what I call High Sparrow and them wouldn't have probably gotten to power if Tywin Lannister was around, she's still kind of pushing it to put it all on Tyrion's head.
Yes.
But it was interesting that Cersei was faced very much with the opportunity twice in this episode to have them both killed by Mountainstein, as he's called, and won't. So it's like, it's funny because you just rarely see moments of sort of like any kind of
weakness.
Whereas
or second guessing. She's usually just like.
Just actual genuine compassion for Tyrion, so despite everything.
She does still. No, I mean, love is a strong word, but there is still a family connection there that she can't just, have him killed right in front of her eyes. I think it was different maybe in previous seasons when it was sort of, oh, he'll die by combat. The blood wasn't really on her hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting sort of glitch in her armor, I guess, that she won't actually kill them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I do think there's more of a chance she'd kill Tyrion than Jaime, and I honestly think that scene, I think she was just playing him the entire time. Like everything was like, I'm even like the heavy-handed hand on belly.
She's definitely not pregnant.
You don't think so?
I think at first, when the scene first played out, but on the back of the revelation later, I think no, she's not pregnant at all, and I think that's gonna what'll turn Jaime over the edge.
Oh, Jaime's already gone. Jaime's left the building.
He's gone. He'll be back.
I think
they'll be together again.
I think if he thinks there's a bun in the oven, he might like reignite the flame. But
yeah, I mean, I think the whole bun being in the oven was to secure his loyalty and that he wouldn't leave her. I mean, whether there is a bun or not. Yeah. So, but he's left her. Like, he's gone, and he's gone to help them fight the great fight. So. I mean, that was sort of a turn of events I wasn't expecting, because I really was, even from the very first episode, was sure that the whole Cersei thing would be taken care of and that she would be killed off.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she hasn't been, because she's a great character. Yeah. But it has, it's interesting in that that hasn't worked out the way we thought, and as well as there now being the great war with the White Walkers, that there's still very much domestic problems going on in Westeros as well.
Yeah, speaking of Cersei, I was like, I think it was the first time we saw, well, maybe in a while, but I felt like the first time you really saw genuine fear in her when the Hound kicked the White out of the box.
Yes,
and then he came running at her. Also, as a sidebar, like, as a Queensguard, like, the Mountain was shit there. Like, he should have been straight in front of her to kill the thing.
But no one that thing in half.
He's dead. Like, he shouldn't be scared. Like, why did you? Anyway.
That's a good point, yeah.
She was the first time, like, because when the dragon arrived, everyone else was like, "Oh my god, dragons!" She was like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah. Steely kind of.
And you could tell, like, "Oh, there's only two." Right.
He kept us waiting.
That whole. Oh, that was so good.
It was very good.
And she kept everything in until she met Tyrion and called her like, what she called her, like a usurper bitch or something like that. Yeah. Like, she kept all her insults in until she had Tyrion in the room. I was like, I gotta get it all out. It was great. But the first time we saw genuine fear, do you think she really sees it as a threat? Do you think she's genuinely afraid of them, or did she just think there's another hurdle for her to get over, and
I think she very much knows that it's a threat, but she's just looking at the fact, well, right, they're going to wipe out Jon and Dany and them lot, and then by the time they come for her, she's going to have all the Essos people, like those, which is an army that I think has come up a lot more in the books. We haven't really heard too much about them, but I guess they're the Iron Banks army. And have elephants and stuff as well, something like that.
Forward to that,
that should be good. But
there was woolly mammoths before, wasn't there, at the time at the Battle of the Wall?
Possibly.
I'm imagining that when the wildlings attacked. So it's the first.
You say elephants in the battle, and I think Lord of the Rings.
Actually,
Legolas like sliding down a trunk, but that's a different world.
But I think that's Cersei's immediate game plan. She's just thinking, right, I'm just going to look after King's Landing. I have 20,000 army here to look after me, and let the rest of them fend for themselves and see what happens. Whether that's obviously gonna, I don't know, something's gonna come into play next season that will throw that out the window, but she's just, I thought it was good though, because even like her saying, yes, it's fine, you have my armies, but like, that's not very like Cersei, that way.
She was too submissive in the whole thing. I was like, because no one cops that she's like, this is not in her character. Like, go.
So, and then it was the whole thing even with Jon's like, Jon, just lie, like, just tell her. And it's like, well, of course Cersei's gonna just lie back, like, she's got no problem with breaking her word. But it was interesting that yet again, it's so funny, it's like Jon's been asked to bend the knee, and it's like, oh God, he just bent the knee last week. You just missed him.
He's got two knees, just saying. And we'll get on to that in a second, just before we leave Cersei's whole thing. It's like, I'm really sad that Euron's whole thing about, can I swim? I'm out. Wasn't real. That was like a genuine
it was like, you're on
he's like, oh, they can't swim. Just gonna stay on my island, thanks.
And one way I was sort of like, oh my God, that's such a pointless character to have invested in. And then, so I'm kind of, okay, at least Euron will be back next season, because he is sort of a fun one on screen. But I actually thought, like, if that's just it, if that is Euron's contribution to the whole of Game of Thrones, and he's just like, Euron out, then that's pretty awesome. But no, he's gone off to get that army.
And we still don't know what happened to Yara.
We still haven't seen sight nor sound of Yara.
So she's obviously just locked up on a boat or somewhere.
I know. I don't think it will be next season. But can we get on? We can't say anything about Theon yet, or will we get to that?
We'll get to it.
Theon got his groove back.
That should have been the title of the episode.
That's all I wanted to say.
So Jon, should he have lied? Do you think he should have lied, or was he?
No, that's go against his whole. I mean, he should have. I mean, in a practical way of like.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of like of the narrative of the whole thing, by John kind of turning around and saying that to Sarah. I mean, he should have, I guess, in a war situation. You know, like it was the whole thing about bending the knee for Daenerys was a sort of pride thing to protect your people.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's like, well, but then it would have gone against everything he just said to Daenerys, and it wouldn't have been Jon Snow at all. You know, he's sort of loyal to an absolute fault.
Yeah.
You know, his loyalty has literally gotten him killed. So, yeah, it just would have. It was such a Jon Snow thing to happen. You know, as much as we love him, he is that kind of, you know, loyal like a Labrador, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
It kind of also like revealed to everyone. I kind of think then it's like, lads, they all know about you now. Like, I can all see it in a second because everyone's like, John doesn't bend the knee, and then everyone's like, oh, so you bent the knee?
Yeah.
You bent the knee there?
Yeah.
You bent the knee? Why you bent
You're
the knee?
single.
She's single.
Yeah.
You're having little cozy corners, one-on-ones in the dragon pit. Like, yeah.
It was definitely simmering away there. I think I've never looked at like will they won't they with so much like la 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 la, like they're just having a chat, they're just friends, they don't want to bone.
No, the way they even framed it, that scene when they were alone in Drag but just talking about
and how he took a step closer towards her and her eyes looking at him, she was just
in
like,
Dragonstone.
in Dragon Pit, you know, when they had their little sidebar thing. They were definitely mad about each other. So and I thought it was so funny then when they were making the plan for the boat trip, and like Jorah was just sort of like, like they're all like, John's like, I know, I think I should go on the boat with Daenerys. I think that'll probably make more of an impact.
Oh my god, it's so like when you're teenagers and your mates are trying to like arrange it that they're alone together.
I'll get a lift with him because, you know, it makes more sense. Like,
it makes more sense for me to go to his house first and we'll come in together. Why would I come to yours and like get the bus with everyone? I'll just go, I'll keep it. No, she needs a lift. That
makes sense. So as soon as I heard that, literally I was like, bomb chicka whoa, love boat.
Oh no.
But just another moment as well for Jorah to have his heart broken. Like,
I know.
I kind of wish he'd gotten beheaded in Old Town, you know, at this point. Like,
I know, it's just really the ultimate punishment now. Like, just suitor after suitor coming in and just, you know.
The poor guy. He'd be off in Valeria. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you were doing during that scene on the boat.
Well, I certainly wasn't Tyrion lurking outside.
Tyrion lurking outside, okay. Do you think... What do you think that was? Because I know what I think that was. I guess in a second.
I guess it was sort of irritated me in that, like, well, obviously he loves her.
It's two things, I think. I think it is that.
I wouldn't go there. Okay.
I thought it was that he loved her, and so I was a bit like annoyed at the simplicity of that story of him just being like pissed off that them two had gotten together. Why? What's the other thing you think it could be?
I think it's that he was annoyed that the two of them got together, that how it could make... They're both kind of known for their, I suppose, rash judgments and impulsivity, and how this could have a bad effect.
That's what I was thinking.
But I do think the way he lingered for so long, it does make me think that I think he might have a romantic interest. And when you couple it as well with how passionately he tried to get Daenerys to stay in the last episode and not go out.
And also, it wasn't a look of like, oh damn, politics. It was a look of like sadness and heartache. Longing. You know, it wasn't a look at, like, you think he would have just been, you know, gotta go reassess things now. Like, he was just standing outside the door, sort of like, oh, you know.
Oh no, I kind of saw a look in his eyes that, well, for me, I thought it was more of a, okay, this complicates shit, because he knows that when people do stupid things like this, like Robb Stark marrying your one and betraying the phrase and setting all that
Jon
emotion.
And Daenerys, other than the information we now know about Jon being, well, we guess we always knew about Jon being a Targaryen, but surely like if that wasn't the case, this would be a good alliance for her to make. Like, she was going to Westeros with the view to maybe making a match with someone that was, you know, a king of the North or something like that. So I mean, for Tyrion, and that he doesn't know anything about the Targaryen thing, is this not an obvious thing?
No, it's not that it's an alliance that's bad. It's that they're like falling in love. It's like an alliance is fine, but when feelings get involved, and it's like, will Jon do something to protect Daenerys instead of protecting a group of soldiers? Or will Daenerys sacrifice another dragon to protect Jon instead of like killing some White Walkers? You know that way? He's like, oh, love complicates things. Like people.
I guess it could be all of those things. I just thought it was a bit weird.
It was also a bit weird, but we are dealing with an aunt banging her nephew. So.
I know. It was terrible when all that was happening at the end. A part of me was like,
I was like,
dude, she's your aunt.
Yeah.
Dude, don't look at her. No, why are you looking at each other? Stop it. Oh no, but also like, first of all, it was the door. I was like, okay, that's all they're going to show us. That's fine. I was like, okay, so that's happening, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Not really, but I'll watch it. And then it was Mr. Flashback that we'll talk about in a second. Yeah. And it was the hard cuts in there. I was like, oh, there is.
Oh yeah, they're banging. Yeah. There wasn't just like didn't go in for some tea and chats. Like, that was
didn't go for coffee.
The only thing I wonder now next.
Got some sugar.
I wonder now will they change it now next season to make it more like. Because obviously she's going to get pregnant and have a Targaryen baby. Yeah. I mean, that's like foreshadowing. Really, can you hear the loud foreshadowing that's happening with Daenerys? Obviously going to have a Targaryen baby.
I can't have babies. Why? Oh, a crazy witch who killed my husband told me.
Yeah.
She was going to believe her.
So she is definitely going to have a baby. It's going to obviously be Jon's baby. Because I remember you said a few weeks ago, like, Jon's magical Targaryen sperm. So, or maybe that whole thing wasn't true. But actually, we didn't even, I was reading, wasn't even in the TV show, the line about her being infertile. It was actually in the books, which is a few quotes that came up in tonight's episode that were never shown on screen, like the Ned Stark stuff with Arya and Sansa. But yeah, so it's definitely, so I wonder again, because of the whole, I mean, incest is okay, the Targaryen bloodline. It's encouraged basically, but it's also what makes them also, you know, batshit crazy. So I mean, I wonder, it's just going to be interesting how they play it out next season. It's gonna really mess with Jon's head.
Where let's push this out a bit. Like, you think so? If he finds out, Bran knows. Sam knows, and he's like, we're gonna tell them. What can you what can you imagine Jon's reaction to be? Because first of all, it's like just looking down and being like.
It's gotta be a weird one to put
like information bomb to be thrown at you. I'm not even thinking about the whole Daenerys thing.
I think for him it's like, oh, I'm not actually a Stark. My whole life up to this point is gonna be changed. I think for Daenerys it's like, I'm no longer legitimate.
And
I think so for her the first thing is the throne, and so everything she stood for. Like I said before,
if they marry, their claim to the throne is sort of united. It's such, so. You know. But then will he marry his auntie? Because I mean, for her, I guess the whole, you know, I mean, he is yet to get his head around being a Targaryen. So in his mind, like, incest is in Westeros is just not cool.
But he also always thought he was a bastard, so it's like it's hard to know, but he's gonna get over it.
It's just it's an interesting one, and it's one I kind of didn't want them to even do with Jon and Daenerys, but it was just getting more and more undeniable in the last few weeks, and now it's happened. So it will be. I guess in one way it's a good, not plot twist, but sort of
it's something to come back to. Like
it's just kind of going to throw a whole load of poison over their whole loving relationship that's beginning next season with this gigantic bombshell, and how they're going to fit in all this drama with, like, you know, the White Walkers now. So it will be interesting. But then I was like, oh, maybe we will get that happy ending of the final ever episode being like, you know, Jon and Denny just having their little baby
Ned. It'll so be called Ned.
Oh yeah.
Nah. Why wouldn't it be called Ned?
Why would it be called?
Because Ned is the kid. What started the show? It'll be called Ned. Calling it.
Ned Targaryen.
Well, no, Eddard.
Eddard Targaryen.
But they'll call him Little Ned or something like that.
Yeah. That's probably what. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it will. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So, but it was Bran and Sam. Yeah. Like Sam taking credit for Gilly's work, by the way.
He was listening
like
after
all. Like a typical man.
Exactly.
But yeah, like figuring it out. Like I love it. It's like knowledge power. Woo!
Yeah.
It's like team knowledge. Like it's like, oh, the two
team
nerds.
knowledge, exactly. Yeah. It's like they may not have been in many battles, but you know, Bran and Sam know shit, and it's finally kind of. Bram. But it's finally like all their work and their reasons for being there as characters has kind of finally come into fruition a bit. It's like, oh, they're going to be the ones that deliver this, you know, huge chunk of important information to the plot. And it was good that we got the flashback with Rhaegar and Lyanna Stark to see their wedding, and I guess proved what we always kind of speculated on, and that a lot of book readers did as well, is that it wasn't that Rhaegar kidnapped Lyanna Stark, it was that it was love. A part of me sort of has known this theory for so long that I couldn't really remember that we hadn't seen it on screen. So, because a lot of people have been like, well, it's not actually been proven. It's never said that Rhaegar is Jon's dad. I'm like, but come on, we all know it. But at least now we can just say it matter of fact. Right, he is Rhaegar Targaryen. We know that his name is Aegon Targaryen.
That's his name. Like, which has a lot of history to it.
Yes.
Like being called Aegon. Aegon was the conqueror who came to Westeros and.
Prince that was promised.
But united the Seven Kingdoms, like the first
Targaryen
that came from Valyria. Conquered the entire continent, united in the Seven Kingdoms,
and married his sisters.
And there've been lots of other Aegons down the years, but Aegon in the books, there's an Aegon who apparently, so Rhaegar had 2 kids.
Yes.
That they were killed in King's Landing by the Mountain.
Yes.
Yeah. But then there's this whole thing where Varys says that he snuck the real Aegon away and replaced it with a peasant's baby, and that's the baby that the Mountain killed, and that this other Aegon is now like of age, and it's like, oh, I'm the lost Targaryen, I'm here to like claim my title, which is a whole thing that Varys is apparently doing in the books. I think they're ignoring that in the TV show, and I think they've done and just given him the name, because the name has such like weight behind it. Shout out to, I think as well, to like all those internet sleuths who were like, remember the ones who went onto Aisling Franciosi's Twitter page, find that she followed your man, find that your man was followed by the director of the episode, and that happened in September when they were filming, and totally called this like 3 weeks ago.
The actor who would play Rhaegar Targaryen, Wolf Scotland or something like that. I thought that was very good as well. Like it's just for even the Game of Thrones writers, you know, it's so hard at this point because they literally, no matter what move they make, somewhere there's a Reddit thread that has called it, you know. Like,
but also it's like no matter what they do, I was thinking like, how are they going to do 6 more feature-length episodes and not have anything coming out because the size of the production is so big? Even if people don't have actual scripts to like screen grab and put on the internet, like if you're like a prop hand who's brought in for the day watching a scene, you're like, there's a big battle, blah dies, like, and
like you're just down in the pub with your mates a few weeks later, you've had one too many, and you're like, hey, guess what? But then I suppose even people like, I guess you are relying a lot on sort of the honour and loyalty of people who work and want to keep working. So I mean, if you're even a prop on a show like Game of Thrones, a prop, even those props are loyal.
Those sneaky tucky swords.
But if you're a mate,
don't trust them dragons.
If your mate, say, was like, a trainee assistant director or whatever on the show, and he's in the pub and he's like, oh, do you want to know what happened? They're like, no, I love the show, I don't want to know what happened. Don't spoil it, dick.
And I imagine people
don't want to know.
You know. I mean, I don't tell anyone when I get like preview screeners to stuff.
I thought you could have something else there completely unrelated. I don't tell anyone any of my big secrets, such as. And I was like, amazing.
But I get, you know, it is a sort of thing that like you don't, you know, like say it because it's part of the loyalty. Anyways, so beyond the point.
Yeah.
If you are a Game of Thrones fan, you know.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't spoil it. We have 6 episodes left and probably 18 months to wait for it. So let's not do that. We haven't even been to Winterfell yet. We haven't even talked about Arya and Sansa and probably the most satisfying death. I was just like, do it, bitch. I was like,
finally, Littlefinger was called up for his many crimes that we'd almost forgotten about. Like, because it's 6-7 years the show's been on the go, and you do forget that Littlefinger was the one who stirred this whole entire pot in the first place. You know, it was, and that he. And it was a part, you know, one of those things as well where it's like, how is anyone ever going to know the full extent of his crimes? Because, you know, Ned was dead. You know, so many people who were a part of it or would have witnessed.
Yeah, he kills them.
He killed them. So the fact that, like, and he could never have prepared himself for someone like Bran Stark to come into the mix, who's like an all-seeing, all-knowing being.
Yeah, his whole thing about, like, prepare yourself for everything in your head. It's like, he would have been like, what if someone comes along who knows everything?
That's it. But he couldn't have. And, but yeah, I thought that was glorious. Because, I mean, as much as, we were talking about how we really hoped the Stark sisters would outwit Littlefinger. But it's coming right up to this moment where Arya walked in and she said, kind of delivered the sentence. I was like, oh my God, there's no coming back from this.
I was like, she's doing
damn you, Game of Thrones. I was hook, line and sinker. And then it was like, Lord Baelish.
And he's like, his response
like he was so genuinely
good. First time he's ever actually been caught off guard.
And then listing off things that like he did, he's just kind of like, oh yeah, he did do that. Oh yeah, he did do that. I still don't understand why he would have been stupid enough to give an assassin his own Valyrian steel dagger back in the day, but I mean it didn't really come back to bite him in the ass until now.
Because he had planted it in people's heads, or somehow had made it that it was the Lannisters owned it.
So he lost it to Tyrion in
that's what it is.
Oh yes.
And it had to be like an expensive blade if it was going to be a Lannister
blade. It
has to be like identifiable. But like I love that it started with that bit. Like I think I had an inkling that it was going to happen. I was still surprised. I had an inkling when Sansa and him had their little bit alone, when he was like, okay, what's the worst thing? And he basically was like goading her into like telling
her sister.
And she's like, well, that's it. Like, you definitely want. This is exactly what you want.
Because
she knows him too well. Like, she's learned from him and Cersei and everyone else. So that twist was that great. And I finally see him break down and cry. I was like,
he's begging like.
And you knew as well with like someone like Arya there that he was just dead. Like, there was no one. This wasn't, you know, the Starks of like earlier seasons. These lot are just having none of it. They have no problem with killing someone where they have their dinners.
Not even an honourable death. She slit his throat.
In front of everyone.
I guess we said that as well. That dagger will probably be the way that Littlefinger would go. And it was good to see that they weren't just, you know, going to destroy the Stark family apart from the inside. I mean, it was setting it up so well for us. And I kind of did hope that would happen, that they would unite. But it was so lovely to see the two sisters standing on the battlements of Winterfell. Kind of in a call back to how Jon and Sansa were at the end of the season 6 finale. And you know, saying the lines that like Ned, because what Ned had said that to Arya when she was very small in season 1, Arya was saying how she hated Sansa after the whole thing that happened with Joffrey, and he had said, what was it? Oh yeah, winter's coming, we need to look after each other. Basically the line that Arya said to Sansa, and then she quoted back a line that he had said. So it was just, I don't know, it was a lovely moment that these two are actually standing together, and it almost took kind of this whole Littlefinger thing to bring those Stark siblings back together after all the different stuff they've been through. It's like, okay, they're a united front now. They've yet to find out, of course, the whole bombshell that Jon isn't one of theirs. But I think it was good to see the three of them just sort of, you know, at home, back where they belonged. It was sort of, it was satisfying.
Do you think Littlefinger really loved Sansa in his own weird, twisted way? Or do you think that he was just, at the end, spitting on it as always, just trying to prey on emotions to get him out of there?
I think he did, but at the end of the day, he doesn't love anyone more than himself. And that was his end game, to get on the Iron Throne. Even like, it wasn't to put Sansa on the Iron Throne. He was always, I want to be on the Iron Throne, I want you next to me. And ultimately it was his ambition that was his undoing. Like,
I do think, I mean, even as she said, in his own warped way, he did. I mean, she was definitely one of his favourite people to mess around with, you know, like to mess with her mind. But no, ultimately Littlefinger has always been out for number one. I can't believe he's gone, but I'm kind of glad.
It's really weird to not have him skulking around being weird.
I mean, he's served his purpose in so many ways, and this last season, there's no real reason for him to be there. His whole thing was stirring up drama between the houses, and he kind of had to go, I think, in this season. But shout out to Aidan Gillen.
Shout out to Gillen. That was a good, strong 7 seasons of being an absolute prick.
Accent changing and all.
Now we just have, we've Bran and Arya and Sansa and everyone heading to Winterfell to go north, but they don't know that, like, there's now no wall, and everyone is just streaming south. Like, they're stuck in Winterfell, surrounded by snow, and there's a flying dragon coming towards them. And I think we've learned from last week, when dragons want to get somewhere fast, they can get there fast. I don't know what's like. I think they're gonna. I can imagine that we drag it out until episode 3 of season 6, and give us a big northern Winterfell Ice Night King battle, and then the last 3 episodes will be down south with Cersei and that kind of stuff.
That's a good call.
But I can't, like, how are they, like, there's going to be serious casualties. I don't know how anyone's going to be, like, we thought their plan was done before. What plan are they going to have for a giant fire breathing zombie dragon and like 1 million dead people?
I know. And actually, when I was watching, I was like, don't tell me Beric and Tormund are going to die by this wall falling.
Oh, that would be so. No, they're definitely not.
They're definitely not.
We see if you have to see
they'll
them
run along to another one and come down.
No, they will be. But it's interesting because they're now behind the army of the dead, and how will they? It's actually. I don't know. How is anyone going to be okay?
They're a slow enough moving army though. Like, it's taken them a while to even get this far. So
but he's on a dragon now, so he could just go ahead and cause a load of trouble. But it has completely evened the playing field, you know? I mean, she still has 2 dragons, Daenerys, you know? But the fact that, the Night King has a dragon now is really going to put a spanner in the works.
Is it fire that he's breathing? Is it blue fire?
It's magic blue fire.
In my head, this is coming back to science in the real world. You know, blue flame was hotter than yellow flame. It's like, that's why it was able to melt the wall, because it's like it's reanimated dead fire.
I thought it was just because dragons are kind of magical.
And that too. Magic dragon,
and
magic
his
wall.
fire is sort of magical, and that,
What happened? It's magic.
Yeah.
magic.
Magic. Yeah. But yeah, it ended though, as I kind of thought even from the beginning that this season would end with them breaking down the wall and going through. It was almost looking for a while that we might get, more of the White Walkers in, because I think it's just because they took so bloody long to march that we kind of were almost sort of early on in episodes thinking that we'd get the White Walkers over the wall in this season. But no, it's sort of gone the way we thought, and that like next season is going to be the ultimate big battle against, the good versus the dead.
The living and the dead, yeah.
The living and the dead, yeah.
And the living and the living.
And the living and the living, yeah. But yeah, it was, Theon got his groove back though.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Theon getting his groove back.
It was inconsequential though.
It started, and I thought it was going to go somewhere, and then it just had this little, like, Ken doll moment where like he got kneed and was able to like be okay with it.
I wish it was not like
the source of all his power is that he just doesn't have a penis.
I think you'll find that the people without penises in the show are the ones who are in charge.
Yes, yeah, he's learning that. It was kind of nice though, because I was so sick of seeing Theon being downtrodden on like for season after season, and at least now he's grown a pair, so to speak.
But like it's 100% setting up an arc. I think in my head anyway that he's going to try and save Yara and die, like in probably in episode 1. Of season 8.
It will be a sort of, it will bring the Greyjoy, Euron, that kind of, exactly.
Maybe he'll go out in a blaze of glory and they'll all die together.
Here's hoping,
yeah. But yeah, it was nice to see him get back on track.
Yeah, big prediction for season 8. What's like...
Oh god,
it's so hard now because this is it. This is the last, and I can't believe we have to wait so long for another installment.
It's not even confirmed, but they said they're going to not be able to film until...
just now. I think they're going in this
September, October, even because it needs to be cold. They need to go to Iceland and get everything wintry, and they're going to take ages to post-production the shit out of those dragons.
So it could be 2019 before it comes on air.
Oh my god, or maybe it'll actually be like Christmas,
which would be great.
That'd be nice.
That'd be a nice treat.
Predictions though, I mean, again, this is total different ballgame stuff, because normally it's been season by season, but anything could happen. They could literally kill them all. The Night King could win, like,
God.
I mean, I'm sure that won't, but they could do something like it's I mean, ultimately George R. R. Martin has sat down with David Benioff and Dan Wise and told them what he wants the end game to be. So as much as they've changed things around, I'm assuming, and I really hope George R. R. Martin, it's a long name to say, is brought in maybe for a lot of script writing and stuff next season.
He still produces, so he still gets to see the scripts.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he might have took a holiday for this season with the scripts.
But he did, because I think he took a step back to focus on the books. I think that was his whole attention.
So I really hope he's very much brought back into a lot of just sort of the script and the dialogue and stuff, and that they maybe start going back towards the books for a lot of the dialogue,
or some for actual character moments.
Stop the whole fan service thing. I mean, I guess a lot of people were having a huge issue with any kind of criticism towards this season of Game of Thrones, and normally I am very much like, this always happens mid-season, there's a backlash, but I still think this season it was warranted, because it wasn't the normal backlash of like, things have slowed down a bit. It was actually that it had changed. It had made it very fan servicey. Still a fantastic show.
It's still a fantastic show. Yeah,
but
we do love it.
I do think that maybe they should take it on board to a certain extent, that this is how it looked on screen, and that maybe they had a lot of plot points and didn't really think it through enough at how they were going to deliver them, and that next season, with only 6 episodes left, that they really that it's completely flawless in that way, because it was just a small way to let it down. It wasn't enough to make me not like the show. But I really hope that it's George R. R. Martin is very much like on set, like present for this final season, because it's his baby,
True.
So he should be there for the final outing. But so my prediction is they're all going to die, Dave.
Bring it back, Max, your prediction.
I would break a few hearts here. I feel now more than ever, ultimately Jon Snow, or Aegon Targaryen, is going to die in the end, and his baby's gonna, or Daenerys is going to have his baby.
Oh God, Max, you're right.
I think
you're probably right.
I think the way it's shaping up, I don't know, but
he was brought back for a purpose, and his purpose will be very much seen next season. And
oh my God, dead people can make babies? That's the new weird. Let's realize that you can come back from the dead and make babies.
Resurrect. Weird. Which means that maybe his baby will have some sort of weird magical power. Who knows? That'll be the spin-off that we won't probably get. But I do think that's a good prediction now, Max, that ultimately
which would break my heart.
And it would also kind of solve the whole predicament of him being with his auntie, and that he would just die and the son would live on. And
and maybe he'll never find out, or maybe both parents will die and the son will live on, and they're like, we don't tell him about his parents. They're related. Just let him be king. It's fine.
Yeah.
Competition time now for the last time. If you want to win a box of Keogh's Crinkle Cut crisps, just answer the competition question, which is, and you just said it, and I was really annoyed because you hadn't said it for a while. What is Jon Snow's real name? You hadn't said it for ages, and I was like, people want to know. Yeah. Well, that's what we were doing all of last year when we saw that flashback, and we were like,
trying to work out what he.
So just tell us what Jon Snow's real name that we found out this week is. And I guess we're just gonna have to wait another 18 months, 16, whatever it is, to see the show again and to see our pretty faces. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next year.